Tonight we are dining at Aurora at the Celeste Hotel in Orlando. This is actually right next to UCF, so kind of out of the theme park bubble, but we are excited to try it tonight. And if you don't know, we do dining reviews every single Monday, so be sure to check those out. So the concept of this restaurant is actually really interesting. I actually love it. So the stunning light show of the Auroras, if you know what the Auroras are, wouldn't be visible without the combination of unique elements. So in turn, here at the restaurant, they know that true beauty can be found when people of all walks of life come together under one roof for one purpose. So the concept here is immersive, and it kind of is set apart from all others in Orlando. And this restaurant experience captures a vast attention of colorful flavors, stunning ambiance, and refined service. So everything is made in-house and is sourced locally. So I'm really excited to try everything. We are here for Valentine's Day, and they have a Valentine's tasting menu. So this is actually 9 courses plus a shared dessert at the end. But our first course is here, so we're gonna start digging in.
With dinner tonight, I got a drink, and the Aurora menu here looks really cool for the signature craft cocktails. Definitely a lot of spin on celestial and galactic-like inspiration. And I got the black hole. This is Kettle One Citron, triple sec, lemon, and activated charcoal. So it comes out black, just like my soul, as you saw already. And it's quite good. A little bit of bite in there from what I would say is probably the citron. But what I really like is that they actually put what I'm guessing are pop rocks around the edge of the glass, because I kind of get a little bit of popping in there in my mouth. But very, very good. I like it. Not over the top on being sweet, but has a nice citrus taste.
I also got a beverage tonight. I got the Aurora. This is Bacardi lemon, fresh mint, and blackberries. It's kind of their take on a mojito. Oh, that is very good. It's very refreshing, but you do get like a little bit of like punch from the mint almost, and the lemon in there. It's really good. I kind of like their version with the lemon instead of lime, which is typically what you see in mojitos. This is really good, and I love the little bit of blackberry in there. It's really good. For the first course of the tasting menu, we have the quail eggs. This comes with a sriracha devil. They're almost like a deviled egg, tobacco, truffle aioli, and maldon. These were the cutest little deviled eggs I have ever seen. And I actually don't even like deviled eggs. I honestly have really never eaten them in my life because I don't like them. However, I had to try them because they were a little tiny bite size, and they were actually fantastic. The flavor in there, the way that the egg was whipped inside with the seasoning and the sriracha, like not too much sriracha that it was like overpowering and spicy. It was more sriracha of flavor. So it really gave a nice little kick in there, and I love that truffle aioli. Also, another thing that can be kind of overpowering is truffle, and it is not at all. It was a perfect little bite size to start this meal.
So for our second course, we've got shrimp ceviche. This is with lime, brunoise of papaya and poblano, micro cilantro, and hickory smoke. And it's actually presented very well. Taylor had the camera, and she totally missed the presentation on it. They smoke it inside of the glass. They bring it out with like a topper on it and reveal it, and then like all the smoke comes out, and it smells absolutely fantastic. So presentation is great. Flavors here I think are a little bit odd for me, a little strange. I'm having a hard time picking up exactly what we should be tasting in there. I don't really get any poblano. I'm assuming that's pepper. As far as spice goes, I'm not really getting that. Papaya, I'm thinking a little bit sweeter. I think maybe the lime in here might be overdoing a little bit, but all in all, it's still pretty good. One thing I will say that they definitely don't need is the micro cilantro. Cilantro sometimes is super overpowering and can overpower your dish. So I'm trying to scrape it off, but some of them you can't avoid. But all in all, it's not too bad.
So I actually really enjoy this ceviche. I do like that there's actually a lot of shrimp in there. I thought it was going to be maybe 1 or 2 pieces, but there's quite a few in there. I think the shrimp is cooked really well. It is served chilled. Now, as far as the flavors go, I actually really did get the flavors of the poblano and the mango whenever I first tasted it. However, I do agree with Josh that it might be a little overpowered with the lime. It's almost like it kind of is sitting in like the juice. However, I think it kind of like tames the poblano a little bit, and so maybe that's why they did it that way. Overall, I do think it was a pretty good dish, but I think so far the quail egg was my favorite.
So for our third course tonight, we've got the field greens. This is multi-grain baguette, carrot puree, citrus thyme vinaigrette, goat cheese, and crispy garbanzo beans. It's pretty good. The only thing that I would recommend, like not to recommend to the chef, because I'm not a chef, but the only thing that I would suggest to maybe add is a little bit more of that citrus thyme vinaigrette. I feel like I didn't really get a lot on mine. And so what I did like felt kind of bare or dry, as if I was just eating the greens. What I did like was the carrot puree that's kind of drizzled on the edge of the plate there. It's that orange color. That was really nice to add a little bit more, moisture or even texture and flavor into the greens. And Taylor had already mentioned this, but and I kind of agree, is that I like that they didn't overdo it on the goat cheese, because goat cheese can be very powerful, you kind of overdo it. But all around, it's a pretty good salad. And again, remember that everything that we're doing tonight is just a tasting of what their actual menu is or could be. So, I'm liking it so far.
Moving on to the fourth course, kind of a heavier dish, but this is the Parmesan truffle arancini. Comes with a pea puree and Parmesan tuile. This arancini was amazing. It was fried to perfection, and if you don't know what this is, it's actually like a fried risotto ball. Yeah, that risotto was seasoned perfectly inside and was cooked so perfect, I can't even describe. So risotto shouldn't be mushy, but it also shouldn't taste like grainy, like rice almost. It was literally the most tender risotto inside, that nice crispiness. Oh, it was perfect. And the flavor of the fried dough on the outside was really good. Now, the pea puree, I could take it or leave it. I honestly don't really like peas. However, if they would serve that with the carrot puree from the salad, ooh, that would have been almost too good to handle.
So for our fifth course, we've got ahi tuna, compressed watermelon, balsamic pearls, and a wonton chip. I mean, that's all kind of almost served in a giant bowl with a little bit of the watermelon kind of juice throughout the bottom. So they literally just plated it. So it's not like it was plated and sitting back there, because the wonton chips are actually still pretty crispy, which was really nice. This one for me was it was a little weird. Not that the flavors weren't good, because the ahi tuna was cooked really well, still nice and tender. Watermelon was still really nice, but it was a weird combination of flavors for me. And I think I was trying to get more of those balsamic pearls in there to kind of see if that would add some almost sour and sweet balance with the watermelon. But I didn't really get that, but it was still good. But if I, now knowing about it and saw it on the menu, would I get it again? Probably not.
Our sixth course is the papaya marinated skirt steak sopes. It comes with pineapple sphere salsa, paprika herb sauce, and micro cilantro. I have to say, this was 100% my favorite dish so far. We still have 3 or 4 left. But oh my gosh, that skirt steak was cooked to perfection. It was a nice medium rare. The flavor was amazing. That paprika herb sauce, it was definitely a little bit spicy, but the flavor in there, I don't know what all kind of herbs are in there, but I could have just ate plates and plates and plates of this. This dish was amazing. Definitely my favorite.
So for our seventh dish, we've got a root vegetable pave with Chinese black rice and a celeriac puree. If you don't know what a pave is, it's kind of, basically what it is for this one, it's root vegetables that have been cut into a rectangle and they're layered. I actually really like it. A little bit of sweetness in there, and I think that might be coming from the puree itself. The root vegetables might have a little bit of sweetness as well. Not really any bitterness in there. And the rice, the Chinese rice actually adds a nice different kind of texture to it, because they're not, like super chewy or anything like that, but it just adds, makes it feel, I think, a little bit more full instead of one just straight kind of weird consistency. So it's actually pretty good. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. For our 8th course, we have got the U10 Key West pink shrimp with a brunoise bison sausage, goat cheese grits, and a butter sauce. I think of all the dishes that we've tried so far, this for me was my personal favorite. I really liked how the shrimp was prepared. Still nice and tender, not overdone. And then of course that brunoise bison sausage. If you don't know, it's kind of how they prepare whatever that item is. So it was nice and tender, wasn't really dry, which is what I was kind of expecting it to be. But then it paired really, really well with that goat cheese. And she said, but it paired really well with that goat cheese grits. And what our server just told us was that the goat cheese is made with 4 different cheeses. So it's a little bit creamier, and it's not as grainy. It's really, really good. And then that butter sauce that kind of just goes throughout the entire dish was fantastic. Nice and savory, a little salty, right up my alley. So I really enjoyed this one.
So our last course before dessert is the beef tenderloin. It's served with an artichoke cream, horseradish roasted vegetables, and crispy shallot. So they did not serve it with a steak knife, and that was definitely reasonable because it was so tender. I actually used a butter knife to cut mine, and I actually didn't really even need it because Josh used his fork to cut his. Now, this is not a full entree. This is a tasting menu, so it is a smaller dish. However, I think it was a perfect way to end this whole entire thing right before dessert. Like I said, the beef was cooked to perfection. They actually didn't ask you how you wanted it cooked. It kind of comes out as chef's recommendation, and it was perfect. It was like a medium rare. And I really did like the artichoke cream that was served with it. I'm more kind of like the red wine sauce kind of girl with my steaks, but I really did enjoy the artichoke flavor that was in that cream sauce. And then as far as the vegetables, they were really good. There wasn't a super spiciness from the horseradish that was served with it, but overall a really nice dish. The last and final course tonight is the supernova. This is a dark chocolate balloon dome with rum flamed caramel, smashed raspberry, vanilla bean ice cream, and Ghirardelli brownie. So the presentation on this dessert was really cool. They actually just brought it out on a plate. You could see the balloon dome there, and then they pour really hot caramel on top. It was so cool, and then it all the chocolate melted, and then everything just kind of comes together, and then you can see the ice cream and the brownie on the inside. And overall, I thought this was a really good dessert. It was really rich with the brownie and the ice cream and the caramel, kind of like a heavier dessert. But I think that the raspberries were really nice in there. It kind of helped cut that heaviness just a little bit. But I mean, if you like a brownie and ice cream dessert, this one is definitely for you. It was really good.
My dessert was coffee. That's all. All right, so we just finished eating inside at Aurora, our very first time, kind of in this area of Orlando as well, which is right by UCF. Mm-hmm. And it was really, really good.
It was a really good tasting menu. I thought it was a really good variety. So many different flavors and different choices of protein and vegetables and everything. So overall, I think it was a good price for the meal as well. It was $60 per person for the entire 10-course meal, including the dessert. I'm not leaving feeling overstuffed, but I'm leaving feeling satisfied. I think the portion sizes were perfect for a tasting menu.
Me too. And this is a place that we should have asked inside, but I feel like this is more of a gastro pub. Some of the food
yeah.
is a little bit more on like the experimental side. It's not full fledged where you have some really crazy dishes. You have to be a little bit adventurous. But I think if you were to come here and just eat off of the regular menu, you're going to find that there's some things that are adventurous. And there's some of like the standard meat and potatoes type of thing that's going to satisfy your palate.
Yeah, they said they have the shrimp and grits that was on our tasting menu as a regular dish on their normal menu. So definitely some things you can come back and try, whether you're adventurous or not. And let us know if you have ever or plan on coming to try the Aurora at the Celeste.